The Kawasaki 1000 SX. I had such a good time shooting our ride review of this bike. Today we're going to be taking another look at it and we're going to be comparing it to the likes of the ZZR1400, the H2 SX and the other competitors in the space, because I seriously think this bike, this platform, gives those others a seriously good run for their money. So let's jump on and let me tell you what I mean here. Seriously, this is a fantastic motorcycle, in a lot of ways quite underrated, especially because this is the performance edition as well, so it's got that Acura exhaust on it. It sounds lovely and it's got buckets of power, but does it have as much power as the likes of the ZZR and the H2 SX? Well, obviously the answer is no. But where this bike does compete with those others is in terms of the torque and the fun factor. Seriously, this bike is so fun. And because I was looking to buy one of these back in the day before I actually pulled the trigger on my ZZR1400, I seriously think that it was a bit of a coin toss whether or not I decided to go for this bike or the ZZR. Because this is a seriously fun motorcycle, at least in first and second gear. It is an absolute wheelie monster. It loves picking up the front wheel. I mean, I've got the traction control on, but by all means, if you want to turn it off, it's so much fun, guys. I can't tell you how much fun I'm having on this bike. And because I'm having fun on a motorcycle that isn't overly aggressive either, this is such a neutral riding position, it feels like I can have endless fun on this bike because I'm not getting tired of riding it. Hey, Complete Motorbikes, you guys are awesome. And the fact that you're getting all of this amazing, all this experience, all this bike, you're able to do it quite innocently because it's not geared crazy. And it's got really good MPG as well. So this bike is an absolute mile muncher. I know that we kind of talk about the ZZR1400, the ZX-14 or the H2 SX as being sport tourers, but this, in my book, is more of a sport tourer than they are, because you can actually do some serious mileage on this bike without any worries about the ergonomics, honestly. That's the thing that has been the most surprising to me about this bike, is how much fun it is without any sacrifice, ergonomic sacrifices that so many of these other bikes tend to have. I know that a lot of people, they like that sporty riding position, and so do I as well, but it's not very good for those long distance rides. Seriously. After a couple of hours, I mean, on my Triumph Daytona, couple of hours riding on that, I am so uncomfortable. That is quite an extreme though. That bike is seriously uncomfortable even for a super sport. But I've ridden uncomfortable bikes before and they all have that in common. Yeah, this bike in a lot of ways breaks the mold in terms of what a sport tourer is. It is ultra sporty in terms of the way it looks, but not in terms of the ergonomics. It resembles more of a tourer in terms of ergonomics. Definitely go and check out our ride review of this motorcycle so you can get the full rundown, specific specs, 0 to 60s, things like that of this motorcycle. Today we're going to be answering the age-old question, really, would I take my ZZR over this, or would I take the H2 SX over this? Now there are other competitors in the space like the GSX-1000 from Suzuki, but to be honest there aren't that many, at least not as far as I'm aware. This 1000cc class with this sort of ergonomic setup, there's not many of them out there. I think this bike is a bit of a, well, it's a bit unique in that regard. Yeah man, seriously good. Alright, so let's answer first. Will I take this over my ZZR1400? Honestly, no. I really like that bike, and despite the fact that it's missing a quick shifter and it's It's getting a little bit dated now, and in terms of the features, that riding experience is second to none. And even though it can get uncomfortable over those longer journeys, it's not too bad, really. The H2SX, however, you kind of think, because it's got that supercharger, that it's a no-brainer. That bike is better than the ZZR1400. It isn't, seriously. The ZZR, in terms of riding experience, is better than the H2SX. So where does that put the 1000 SX? I would seriously take this over H2SX. Not just because of the massive difference in price tag, that is a big reason though. You're paying £10,000 less for this bike than you are a H2SX. Absolutely ridiculous. But the experience, I think this motorcycle, the experience of this bike is actually better than the H2SX. Despite the fact that you are missing that supercharger flutter, that supercharger whine, which I do love, by the way, because my ZH2 has that supercharged flutter and it is really addictive. But I'm telling you right now, if we're just talking pure riding experience, nothing else, this is better. And that is saying something. This is so much bike for the money, it's crazy. And you can get these used for, I think, 5 grand, 4 or 5 grand. Yes, they are the older models from 2012, maybe 2015 or so. But this is so much bike for the money. I mean, new, they're cheap for the competition. Used, they are also even cheaper. They're even better valued. And you guys know me, I like motorcycles that have got a lot of bang for buck, and this bike has got a serious amount of bang for buck. It's a really, really good bike. I seriously struggle to think of any reasons why you would take a H2SX over this, apart from that supercharger. Yes, that bike has got more top-end horsepower. All right, if you want to do stupid amounts of stupid miles an hour on a motorcycle, then yeah, okay, go for the H2SX. But if you want a load of torque, which I think is more important, this isn't far off. At least in terms of the feel anyway, the experience. Specs, yeah, it is about 20 or 30 Newton meters off the specs, the H2SX, but it doesn't matter. This thing is seriously good. And yeah, as much as I may regret saying this, I think I would take this to street riding. I would take this over H2SX, but not a ZZR1400. This bike is so much fun as well. It's really playful, seriously playful, and it has a lot of character. You know, you can take it easy, you can chill, you can ride comfortably, you can cruise on this bike, no problem. Or you can turn it into a hooligan bike and have a load of fun with it as well. It's a very versatile motorcycle, and I know we made this comment on our ride review, but it's seriously nimble. And it is a heavy bike, 235 kilograms wet. Doesn't matter. Somehow they've made it feel much lighter than 235 kilograms would imply. And I think that is a very similar picture to the specs as well. Ride this bike, don't look at the specs and think, oh, I'm a bit disappointed by the specs when you compare it to a H2SX. Ride the bike, test ride it first, and trust me, you will know what I'm talking about. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this ride out with me today. Definitely go ahead and leave that like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any more of our videos on the wicked Kawasaki 1000 SX. and we'll catch you all in the next video. Everyone take care, ride safe.